going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 107 of Behind the Tool Belt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer.
TC Backer Construction family, all the viewers in the groups that we share to you here, the roof and solar community, all the contractor pages. Thank you guys once again for staying loyal, watching the show. We do this for you guys. We got a banger for you guys today. We got the man Chris Yano from Ryno Strategic Solutions out of Phoenix, Arizona, joining us live today. We're going to talk about some good stuff here. Get to know him as a person. Get to know his business, what he does for the construction industry. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their wonderful white weather out here in Pennsylvania. I know Chris said that he's enjoying his winter weather down there in Arizona, so we got another storm coming through here
Right.
in the next couple days.
Yeah, we are.
So.
They're calling for 10 inches of snow on Sunday and
Yep.
Monday. Yeah, lucky you. What is the temperature out there in the sunshine state of Arizona?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not. It's not a chance of snow. That's why I don't live out that way. I mean, we were in the upper 60s today, so it's a pretty chilly day here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right on.
Awesome.
Right on. So, I mean, I guess you're like the man of many trades. Like, I was doing some research on you. So you were a bull rider, a race car driver, a podcaster. I mean, what haven't you done? Let's start there. What haven't you done?
You dug in. Got it, boy. You dug in. You know what? Like, I think something I learned like early as a kid from my grandpa was like regret, like to not have regret and have to live with regret, and so I'm all big on experiences, like not only for myself but with my employees, my family, like, and fuck it. I'm sorry, I don't feel good.
You're good, bro.
Okay, cool.
We're PG-13, not rated R, but
if
13.
you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do something, don't half-ass it. Like, go all in. And so I like to try just about everything. And obviously, if you could tell from like my professional bull riding days, my professional racing days, is I like adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
What haven't I done? Shit, man, I don't know. I try if I want to try something, typically I'll do it. But I also have ADHD, so that's actually a blessing because I can't focus on all the things at the same time. So once I like get locked in on something, I chase it down.
Yep,
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I love the branding that you have, by the way. What made you go with a Ryno?
Dude, this is gonna be the lamest story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So, one, I did a rebrand. So the name of my company initially was called Brickyard Marketing, and it was because if you're a racing fan, the nickname of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is called Brickyard. I'm from Indiana. I started the company in Indiana. I want everybody to know I was a local business, so it was called Brickyard Marketing. But as we expanded out of Indiana and became more of a national company, a name change came in. So I thought, I'm going to go with something that sounds really cool. And my last name is Yano, Yano.
Mm-hmm.
If you look how Ryno is spelled, it's awfully close to that.
Yeah.
So I thought a rhino is a really cool animal. Like, they're a big, tough, badass. It's basically like the unicorn of the jungle. Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like a cool animal. And I loved orange. And I was like, let's just call it Ryno, but we're gonna spell it Ryno. So it's kind of got a little bit of my last name in there too. So that's, like I said, not the coolest story, but it's my story.
Hey man, it's generic. You know what I mean? It's original. It's you. You know what I mean? It's a way to add a bit of you into your business and what you guys do. So, and I also was scrolling through your website. I love the way your website is designed, by the way. I mean, you guys do marketing, you guys do website design, video production, all different kinds of stuff, like Ty was saying.
Yeah.
You guys offer a wide variety of things. So that's pretty cool. And your website is well put together, by the way.
Well, it better be. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
With doing all of these things, you know, race car driving and bull riding, why marketing, I guess, or what? How did you find the space that you're in right now?
Yeah,
What led you down that path?
Yeah, man, thank you for asking. And I know I haven't said this yet, but I appreciate you guys having me on to kind of share some of these things. Here's how I got there. You guys will, one of my core values is transparency. So I'm going to give you transparency right out the gate. You ready?
Do it.
Yeah.
So, was a wrestler in high school, went to college, played soccer, and I wrestled. And I went to college for almost 4 years to get an associate's degree. And how long it takes to get an associate's degree for the normal human being?
Yeah, 2.
Right?
2 years.
I was going to say.
Criminal justice is what I went after. I got out of college and I got a DUI. Guess what a DUI does to your criminal justice degree?
Yeah, no good.
Yeah, no bueno.
Down the shitter.
Mhm.
So what sounded like a good idea? Moved to Arizona and joined the pro bull riding circuit. That sounded like a great idea.
There you go.
So that's what I did. Turns out, being a good wrestler and having a good balance was also applicable in bull riding. So
Right.
it worked out really good. And kind of, I guess, being a little bit on the crazy side and high risk certainly was helpful too. And at this point in time, my sister went to go work for this little bitty company back in 2000 called Google. So, which was a way different company at that point in time.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like, a little over a year new at this point. And so, I have my first of 4 kids in this time frame, and I'm like, maybe I should probably like settle down and do something besides bull riding, because to be quite frank with you, I frank with you guys, in 2 years I won 3 rodeos, so like that's not a great track record, by the way.
Right.
And turns out I needed to be a little bit more responsible. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, man. Like I was kind of like floundering a little bit. Now, when I grew up, because you're from Indiana, you either play basketball or you race cars. And I wasn't tall enough to play basketball, so I raced a lot of cars. I grew up on a farm, so I raced cars. My grandpa raced cars, my uncle raced cars. But then they also paid for it, so I didn't have to pay for it. When you go to college, all the racing stopped, all that stuff stopped, because I had to focus on sports.
Right.
So I get out, I do the pro bull riding thing. That don't really pan out for me. So now I got to get a real job. I use air quotes.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, I can talk to people. So I got a job at a local yellow page company selling yellow pages, which I hated. I loved the businesses that I got to talk to and work with, but I was not a believer in like the phone books and like you add red and it gets 15,000 more more views, which turns into X amount of more. Like I wasn't buying it. Like I needed facts. I'm an analytical thinker.
Mm-hmm.
So they started rolling out the online yellow pages, and that I could believe because it was sharing with me facts, like actual numbers of people calling. Like I could see. So in racing, data matters, right? Like there's a thing called data acquisition. The more you study, you're studying. If I turn the rear wing a quarter of a turn and it makes it flatter, I can go faster in the straightaway, but I'm looser in the corners. So it's just constantly studying data. So I loved that side of it. And
Right.
so this kind of took me into that world that I was starting to like believe. I was like, oh, okay, I can actually see somebody spending $1, they're getting 10 in return, or they're getting X amount of, it made sense to me. And after like, I'll speed that story up. It turned out to where I got poached by another company that was much larger, actually right there out of Philly, out of Conshohocken. I spent about a month in training there, in King of Prussia area.
Yep.
And and I learned internet yellow pages and internet marketing. So my sister's like, hey, listen, I work at this place called Google, and you're probably taking trainings from my company. Like, I can help you with some training. And I was like, let's do it. That was just like 2004. I just started learning the internet marketing stuff. And the company I was working for paid me exceptionally well. So I was able to start racing again.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've always wanted to race in the Indianapolis 500. That was been my goal forever. And I got this close, right there. I got to test in the cars. I was at Indianapolis Motor Speedway testing. I got to do all the fun stuff. Couldn't quite get it across the line, pun intended,
Yeah.
to get it done. So I thought, well, I guess I better stick to this internet marketing stuff. But you know what? Like, what I'm selling, these guys aren't actually doing, and I can't go and look at these customers in the face again and say, hey, yeah, keep buying with me, and not knowing that they were actually executing. They were growing so fast, scaling so fast, but they weren't executing operationally. So I was like, you know what? I can sell it and I can build it. I'm going to do it myself. And because I have like this high risk piece to me, I was like, I got it. Let's go all in. So I did it. And really in 2007, I started the company. When it was just me, but I became an official business in 2008. So, and then it's been off to the races from there.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
That is
That's
great.
awesome. You got quite the history.
Total
man.
accident.
Yeah. Sometimes
Usually
that ends with the best results,
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely.
When you don't really know what lane you want to go in, pun intended there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well done,
you end
well
up in the best spots. So with you being in marketing, how well has your podcast really helped your business?
Yeah, so I think it's important that well, let me answer that question like directly first. It's been exceptional for business, but also somewhat problematic at times. But the intent wasn't to necessarily grow business. The intent was to continue. One of my big core values is giving back. It's something that is near and dear to my heart, is building and giving back to my employees in the community, things like that. The way my business is set up is that we are not an option for the masses. Like, we are very selective on who we also partner with. They have to have the same growth mentality, have the right infrastructure to legit support the growth plans that they have in place, like all these things. So I had to say a lot of no's. And I was like, I don't know if I told you this before, Chris, when we were talking, but I have been super blessed and lucky enough to have created a partnership about 3 years ago with a gentleman by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary
Yes.
V.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and one of my conversations with Gary, he was saying, you need to start a podcast, and this was like in 2019. He's like, you need to start a podcast. I'm like, that sounds awful. Like, I want nothing to do with that. My job is enough. It's full-time job. Like, I'm working. I don't know how you do it. I'm not a radio guy. He's like, because you're thinking about it wrong. He goes, you just told me that one of your biggest drivers, one of your biggest core values is giving back, but you keep having to tell a lot of people no. This is how you overcome that. You want to continue to give back to the industry, to the blue collar guys, to the home services industry. Create a podcast. I'll help you, and just do Q&A format. Bring on big players in the game that you have all these relationships with, and then just start asking them questions about, just like you're sitting in a war room with them when you're going through next year's strategy, and have them talk through with you so that others can hear it and be like, oh yeah, I could do that operationally, or oh yeah, I can do that from recruiting, or oh yeah, I can do that on budgeting or finances or whatever. And so he really kind of helped piece it together for me. Whereas like I just was like, Q&A format, perfect. I can do that. Fast forward to today, It roughly gets somewhere in like the 12 to 14,000 downloads an episode. It's weekly. It's insanely busy to do and a lot to manage.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is hard, man.
Yeah.
It is
You
hard
get it?
doing these.
Yeah, it
For
is. I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
and you nailed it, because we have full-time jobs. You know what I mean? But I don't think anybody realizes how much goes on behind the scenes to set this up. I mean, it seems easy. It looks easy. But I'm tired right now, dude. We just put 12 hours in already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't have the guys that are setting up the studio for us or giving us our Q&As or stay on this rail and don't. I mean, it's like we kind of like 5 minutes before the show. It's like, okay, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah.
After we've worked all day, and it's kind of like, well, my day was kind of shit. How was yours?
Yeah, but I love, that's actually what I love about it, man. Like, it doesn't need to be so scripted. I think you can have an agenda and a topic that you want the listeners to take away, but actually the free form concept of it makes it feel better. Like, it's
Right.
more real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
And,
noticed that
like-
really quickly, man. We tried to do we're going to talk about this. We're going to send our guests this list of things. We're going to ask this question. And then after that, we're going to lead into this question. Dude, it's so hard to stay on track. We all got ADHD. Like, I can't focus on that, man. I'm so worried about what I'm going to say next. And, we find that our best episodes is when we're just real. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Our best episode, we say this all the time for our viewers that watch. Our best episode, we did nothing but talk about youth sports. Had nothing to do with the industry. Talked about youth sports and the brotherhood that you get from that, the military, like that kind of stuff. The things that you can't get taught anywhere else other than team sports and the military, in my opinion. But that was our best episode. You know what I mean? And it's like, people want to hear real, you know what I mean? And you can tell when something's forced and it's scripted. So a lot of times we just start talking about shit, and wherever it goes, it goes.
We tried to script it one night, and it was horrible. So, like, I can't read worth of shit anyhow. So, like, I'm looking down the whole time trying to read, and like, it was just so horrible.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I felt
it was
so
horrible.
awkward and embarrassed, like, stumbling over my words, and like, dude, screw this, man. Like, just let's just be raw.
At least you got two. At least you got two of you guys. So if one of you starts to tank, the other one can lift the other one up.
And exactly right. That's why I need Chris by my side, and not just here, but even at work. It's like you nailed it. It's like the camaraderie and the fellowship that we have here and outside of here is we feed off of each other so well. That positive energy, and we lift each other up, man. That's a great.
Well, listen, like here's what we're all doing together. I mean, this is like my vision, and maybe it's not yours, but I'm like kind of picking up on the vibe from you guys a little bit. That this is like literally just a platform we've been kind of given to serve the industry that we love, and like and to give back to the industry that we love. And even though I run a digital marketing company, that's just what I do. It's not why I do it.
Right.
And the same with the podcast is the same thing. Same thing like doing this. It's. If I'm able to give one valuable piece of information to somebody who's listening to take away and they implement it into the business and it moves them forward, bingo, I did my job. Like that's my calling. And it's just, these are the different platforms that both you guys and myself have to do them with.
Yeah. And it's created such a culture for us, man. We started this podcast, 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, because we do an hour a week every Wednesday. We haven't missed a single episode. And we started it actually to promote gazebos that we built for a home and garden show that we were auctioning off for a program called Workforce Now, who it's for the local builders association. They get kids in the trades, trying to steer them away from college, get kids in the trades. So we built these extravagant gazebos and auctioned them off and gave the money away for charity. We're like, nobody knows that we're building these gazebos. We need someone to buy them so we're not the ones that are buying them and trying to figure out what to do with them. So we started this show just to promote these things and just fell in love. You know what I mean? And now it's turned into so much more. And, when I met you down at RoofCon and we spoke for that brief time, it was pretty evident right away that your core values are directly in line with our core values. You know what I mean? So it was like, this has to happen. We got to figure out how to make this happen. So, kudos to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I for sure felt that too. And RoofCon was really kind of our, like Ryno really has minimal brand equity in the roofing community, even though I've really been working with roofing contractors since 2008. And so it's just that we had this heavy opportunity in HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, which wasn't on my agenda either. I just had a digital marketing company. Honestly, I just wanted whoever would bring me on board. But I loved the blue collar space because I grew up on a farm, so it kind of was easier for me. I kind of understand. It was just easier for me to communicate with that kind of home services vertical. So, but my values are my values. Like it is. It means more. It means more to me. Reputation over revenue means more to me than anything.
Right.
So you can't deviate from it. But RoofCon was like my first step into like kind of getting back into roofing. And I'll tell you what, I had options, but the reason I picked RoofCon was I believed in their values.
Right.
And I thought if I'm going to kind of go and give back, and obviously you guys saw like I came in a pretty big way, was because I believed in their purpose. And I could align with that, and I could get behind that. And so it was just my first, like my first go at it. So I met a lot of really great people at that event that I thought were good human beings. You included, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I agree with the whole what we got out of RoofCon and why I enjoyed it personally so much, because it wasn't like no one was trying to sell you anything. You know, if anything, they were trying to give away value, and the only marketing scheme there was almost benefiting yourself. You know what I mean? Between the rep card, being able to interact with people, exchange information very easily, the way that Hunter set that up, to the people that Hunter brought in, to have the direct impact. I mean, just the speakers alone. You know, Ed Milet had a room full of 2,000 contractors crying. You know what I mean? With just how powerful and impactful, and being able to relate to what he was saying and apply it to your own life, and for personal growth. You know what I mean? If we have a good saying here, you know, you have to grow personally to grow in your business. What you do in your personal life directly reflects into your business and your relationships, everything. How you are as a father, a friend, a brother, a coworker, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it was awesome. It was awesome.
I had the luxury. I know Ed, so it was pretty cool to have also been able to. I mean, I was on right before Ed, so it was pretty cool for me to kind of come off stage and be able to connect with Ed real quick before he went on. So like that was also a pretty cool moment to, you know, for me to kind of see come full circle.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Like I get it. And like what you're saying from Ed, I've experienced it multiple times. Like dude's got a good heart, man. I will ride with anybody that's got a good heart and the right intent all day long, man.
Yeah.
He's got a great message.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah. Great message.
Yeah, the energy and everything was there. That was good. And you were great too, man. And for you,
thanks, man.
I guess not doing that much. You seemed like you're definitely a professional at it. And I thought you were like running the whole entire, you know, roofing conference circuit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you did great. I mean, I thought, you know, very inspirational. And like you said earlier, we felt like your core values matched ours as well. And that's what it's all about, culture. Like we're constantly trying to push each other and better each other. And we kind of play a little joke on each other to try to like push each other into our, out of our comfort zone.
Uncomfort zones.
Yeah. You know, so, you know, we'll set each other up sometimes. It's like, yo, you got to call this dude. And he's like, I'm not calling him. He's pissed off. Well, you know, if you want to grow, you got to go.
Yep.
So you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's where the growth's at.
Absolutely, man.
All day,
Absolutely.
every day, man. Even in your family life, you know, not just business or personal, but you gotta. And that's the key, man. That's the key to all of it, really, right there. And you know, once we've relayed that message to the rest of our team, you know, it's been a really awesome journey that we've been on with our team and everybody. We got a real good group of people. We don't have quite 130 people that work for us, but there's 50 of us running around, and to try to get everybody to drink the same Kool-Aid, man, is very tough. I mean, because you got the older guys, because we're in the construction, we're a roofing company, so we got some old heads and we got some young bucks, and it's like sometimes they clash and they're just not drinking the Kool-Aid that day.
Yeah.
You know, but we get through.
I get it.
Get through it pretty good, I think.
Absolutely, man.
You know what? Like I like that. It is crazy having this. I never intended. I guess I don't really know what I intended. Like, but to have this many people wasn't like I was like I can't wait to get 130 employees. It's just that what it takes to manage this beast at the level I expect it to be run for our customer service. So. But you're right. Like I've learned a few things along the way. It's been 14 years running this company. You know, I've learned the business by being in it. Yep. But the one constant that we've always had is I've only got one goal, like with this company, and everybody needs to continue to run towards that goal, keeping in mind our core values. I exist to grow. Like our mission statement is, we exist to grow your business. Period. Like. That's the only reason a company like mine exists is, you know, if you guys are like, hey, I'm tired of chasing storms, or hey, whatever, like I need more retail leads. That's my job. Like, I got to go out there and get new bookable service, like repair or installs or gutters. That's what you're paying me to do and bring in. The job is very clear on
Right.
what I have to do. It's just that I take it about 5 steps further than that to make sure that you also do your job on, there's just a mutual accountability on like, are you actually, are you even booking the leads? So I'm going to track the booking rate. Who took it? Did Jill take the call and she's missed an objection? Hey, she missed an objection. Have her listen to this phone call so she can fix it the next time. And then if you got like your job Nimbus or Acculinks or whatever it is, and I can pull the revenue and attach it to it, I literally want to be able to tell, what did you spend? What did we bring in? What did you book? What's the revenue? You can scale a business with that right there, as long as you can, you got operations, and it becomes black and white.
Yep.
So I can use those same KPIs to hold my entire team accountable. So it's no longer like this, like, well, maybe I give you some favoritism or use some favoritism. Everybody has KPIs. What gets managed or what gets measured gets managed. And it's crystal clear. Follow the values. We exist to grow your business, period. If you're not growing that company's business, what are we doing? Move on.
Right on.
Right.
Well, how soon did you figure out that you just weren't a good fit for any company? Because I heard you say earlier, like, you do a little bit of research on them. You got to make sure they have the right infrastructure in place and can handle that amount of volume. Like, so I totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. So like, how did I get to like, I mean, really what this comes down to is how do I pick that type of contractor? And really it comes down to, and I didn't know it right away. Like I did have to learn it, but the good news is that, when I started to come into like I think you guys have heard me say, like, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical has been my baby for so many years that we have 730 HVAC and plumbing contractors that are customers of ours. And I learned by asking the right questions on, everybody's like, I'll take as many leads as you can get me, Chris. And I'll say, perfect. How many technicians do you have? How many, subs do you have to use to be able to actually execute on that type of lead volume? Do you have any recruiting in place to bring people in to support that lead? But like, so you can kind of get an idea for infrastructure of the business by asking the right questions to know, like, can they legit support that? Because all the ambition in the world might be there, and it's probably and it could be legit, but you got to take action on some sort of plan, like to be able to execute on that. Because I am a for-profit business, but the best way I grow profitably is by making you, my customer, grow. Not by adding a bunch of new people, new contractors, by making my existing contractors grow.
Yeah.
So it just took like some asking some thoughtful questions to make sure. And then another factor would be saturation. Like, you can only work with so many people in the same place before you shoot yourself in the foot. So like, that's a factor that a lot of companies ignore. And that's where they get greedy and they want a lot of business quick. And then you realize you brought in 5 people in the same place. You can't deliver the same, new lead volume to them.
Right.
And somebody's gonna get pissed. They're gonna complain.
You're doing a better job for them than you are me, and
and you can only take so many black eyes, man, before like you get a bad rap in the industry, and nobody's gonna use you. So that's why I said reputation over revenue has always mattered to me. And so long as I'm doing great and making sure that our reputation is good, the revenue always follows for both of us, me and the customer.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to just touch on something that you said there real quick. You said that you asked the right questions. Number one, I think that we're in an age where it is now becoming acceptable to ask questions, where before you didn't want to look like a fool. You know what I mean? No one wanted to look like a fool in front of a group of people. I heard a quote yesterday that stuck with me, and I'm never going to forget it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it before, but it says, ask a question, look like a fool for a minute. Don't ask a question, be a fool for life. So
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. So
that's real good.
I've been the latter so many times before I figured that out.
yeah. And how awesome is it, just to touch on the RoofCon thing again, and all these conferences that are being done now, how awesome is it that you have the industry that we're in where it's full of people that want to lift each other up? You know what I mean? Like, I can easily walk up to somebody and ask them questions. Like, I approached you at RoofCon strictly to ask you about your podcast. Whereas before, 10 years ago, it might not have been acceptable for somebody to walk up and want trade secrets, or, it's kind of like the secret fishing hole. I'll
Yeah.
tell you the river I fished on, but I'm not going to tell you what bait I put on, and I'm not going to tell you the hole that I fished.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
dude,
that
like,
it's
yeah,
great.
man. You have where we share this is I use the term rising tide raises all ships. Like I've always kind of bought into that. I've always been an option. Like I'll tell you this, I don't care about sharing information with you because you still got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, you don't do it, or most won't do it. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like during my keynote. If you heard me talk about it, I've given like hundreds of keynotes and breakouts, like hundreds. So, Ty, that's probably why it seemed like I've done these so many times. It's actually where I feel the most at home is in those moments. But I'm basically pouring my heart and passion out. But I don't mind sharing all the stuff that I've learned because, again, most won't do it. And if they do decide to do it and want to compete against me, let's fucking go. I'm
Right.
competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to win, and I'm okay with competition.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's competition's healthy. So this
Absolutely.
isn't competition. Like you
No.
asking me questions about the podcast, it's not competition at all.
Right.
It's me saying, you know what? I got a big ass listener base, and if I can help you by becoming on here and help your listeners or whoever's viewing, and I can also help support you and push this, dude, I'm in. That's how I roll. That's just who I am as a human being.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's good
awesome.
stuff, man.
Absolutely.
So going back to like the companies that you choose, do you find that there's like a sweet spot, like the contractor that does like 2 to 5 mil or 10 to 20, like is like who that do you stay away from the bigger guys or do you prefer to help the smaller guys? I guess.
Yeah, that's a great question to ask, and so a lot. Here's like actually what this will be a two-parter, Ty. Okay.
Yep.
Here's what happened is the reason I got pushed back into going into roofing heavy is because my biggest players, my $500 million players that own HVAC, plumbing, electrical companies are buying roofing companies. And when they buy roofing companies, these guys are all private equity backed. They've got an agenda, and that agenda is buy, scale, profitably sell. Like this is the big, hairy, audacious goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happen to be the one that they know, okay, if I use Ryno, I don't want to say I just get to talk about it, but if they use Ryno, they know my numbers will be spot on and they're predictable for them to scale. So they start buying roofing companies, and next thing you know, I'm in the roofing game. And because I told you guys I don't half-ass anything, I immediately went into, okay, I need to start hiring people to just run the roofing vertical for me, and I'm getting back in that game. And honestly, in comparison to like HVAC, it is a cakewalk to bring in like legit quality leads at a low cost per lead, and the average ticket is phenomenal. So it's been a great little run.
Mm-hmm.
But they're big companies. And so, yes, I have to service them in a different way because it's a bigger strategy. Whereas, like somebody who is sitting at 3 million, a roofing contractor sitting at 3 million, shit, man, you can sell 3 million and have this thing be in shambles behind you, So there's some question asking that has to go on. And from RoofCon, I don't do a lot of one-on-one like sales calls, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just I don't have the time to do it and still manage this beast at the level of expectation that I have. Now, but in roofing, I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations recently because I'm still trying to absorb, learn, understand, like ask numbers, metrics, all this stuff, so I can be better. But if I find a $3 million guy that wants to be a $5 million guy, Ty, hell yeah, dude, I want him to be $5 million, and I'm confident I can get him there as long as he can support it with, with operations, or he has the right like crews that'll actually show up. And like, this is the game changer where there's a lot of overlap between the world I've been in and adding in the roofing world, a lot of overlap, which has made this really easy. The main thing that's like music to my ears is that you guys can use subcontractors. So the skilled labor game is significantly different.
Right.
And the margin is so good. And my 2 cents on this was, I don't care if they're 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. There's not a whole lot of roofing contractors that are like monster contractors. Like in comparison, it's a very, very, very small number. But they might have the same ambition to grow. So why would I want to treat one different than the other? And I want to help who I can help. Like Aaron Christie come on board as a customer of ours, Indy Roofing Company. That has a special meaning to me because one, he's in Indianapolis, and that's where I'm from.
Right.
But he backs up what he says he's doing, and he's growing a beast. And we are aligned. Like we know what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a $3 million guy that's in St. Louis or $2 million, it might even be a $2 million guy. If I ask the right questions and I can see he's doing the right recruiting to support his actual growth plan, I'm fucking in. Let's go. Like, let's go kick some people's asses in the St. Louis market.
Right on.
But my big play here with it is what the pattern I noticed, and you guys obviously know significantly more than me, having been in the business, is there's so much like storm chasing, and I understand why there's a lot of storm chasing that's happening. But there's also a shitload of organic leads, things that are being like that people are just kind of like leaving, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's my jam. I'm going after it, like all in after it, and pulling it in. $121 cost per lead for a roof installation. Fuck yeah, all day long. Give me that. Like none of this. Like, oh, I'm going to give you 60 leads for $60. Like, oh, that's bullshit. Like that's not how this works.
Right.
But it is like it's like taking candy from a baby at this point in time. But if I believe you can do gutters, you can do chase storms, you can do the organic side, you can kind of do the holistic approach, you will fucking own your market. Yeah. You will own it.
Yeah.
And minimal people are doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we've been trying to do. So what is it that you exactly do? Like, I know you do digital marketing, but what does that mean? If somebody would say, hey,
yeah, man,
come on in here, help me. What are you going to do? What is it that you do?
Yeah, sure. And this is usually what most people are like, what the fuck does that even really mean? But really all they care about is like, what are you going to do for me? Right. But yes, I do. So actually we're a lead generation company. So we do digital marketing. So pay-per-click, Google AdWords, whatever you want to call it, social media, search engine optimization, which is a key piece of that puzzle that most try to like bypass and just buy their way through direct response at like Google. You cannot fuck with SEO. If you do it right, yes, everybody has to do it. Yes, does it take a little time for your rankings to increase? But as it increases, you watch your cost per click cost per lead start to decrease. It's a beautiful little thing. But so we do search engine optimization. We build websites because we have to. We are not a web design company. I've just built like 3,000 of these things because if I got to run an internet marketing campaign, it's only going to be as good as the website it's going to. And if that thing doesn't convert traffic into a legit opportunity, what the fuck are we doing with it? Nothing.
Right.
Like it's not.
You do all this.
Only purpose is.
Right. You do all the work to get them at the top of the list, get people to click on the link to get them to their website, and then they get there and it's a turd. You know what I mean?
Chris,
it's like, man, this doesn't even look professional.
And you can only polish a turd. It's still a fucking turd.
It's still a turd. Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
But so now think about this, Chris. Think about this. Like I just kind of painted a picture for you. You can kind of tell when I get passionate about this shit because this is the stuff like I really I'm drilled down into is getting somebody to click on my shit to get them in when they're looking for a roof repair company or a roofing installation bid or whatever it is. That's half the battle. Get them in. And then once they're there, what do I got to put in there to make them convert? So I got to be a fucking psychology major. I got to understand how the consumer's thinking. I got to understand how the consumer's thinking fast to get them to click and take action to choose you and not choose the guy down the street.
Right.
So perfect. I've been playing that game for 14 years. It's not that difficult. It's just A/B test, A/B test, A/B test, figured out, boom, go. But if you notice what I said is I don't stop there. I'm only a lead generation company. That's what I was telling you, Todd, that does digital marketing.
Yeah.
But I have a team in here. Worst job in my company is our Ryno Tracks call listening and reporting team. They listen to every single phone call that comes through that website so we can classify what's the lead quality. Did it come from pay-per-click? Did it come from SEO? Where was it located? Who took the call? Did they book the damn call? Did they miss the call? Like, did they miss an objection? If they missed an objection, I'm going to take that call recording and send it to somebody at your place and say, have Jill listen to this call. She missed the objection. Or, hey, Jill's being an asshole in this phone call. You might tell her to, like, work on their attitude this day. Or, like, all the way to, because at the end of the day, you heard me say, if you don't grow, neither do I. If she
Right.
can't book it, all this money we just spent, all this shit we just did is for nothing.
Right.
So I chased this thing all the way through. Now the lucky thing I figured out early on was that I've done that since the beginning, and I only did that because I thought, you know what? I'm so confident in myself and in my ability that if I listen to every single phone call, this new customer I got that does HVAC and plumbing, that's a $30 million contractor, I'm going to show him facts. Just like in the beginning when internet marketing for me started, I said, hey, I love the online Yellow Pages stuff. I could start to track it. If I listen to every call and report it to him, he'll know, yep, I spent $10,000 a month to do this, Chris, and I made $417,000 in installations off of this thing. Hell yeah. And my cost per lead was what? He will never leave if he knows those numbers and I execute. And it was just a fluke that I did it. I was like, this seems like a great idea. Worst job in my company is the one listening to all y'all's phone calls every day.
I can't even imagine.
Dude, the after hours answering services, you will want to punch them in their face. They like, oh my gosh, it's atrocious.
I can't even imagine.
I could not imagine that, dude. I couldn't do that. I could not do
Dude,
that.
I did my time. I did my time. I don't do any of that anymore. That team's got like 65 people on it, and it's like a long waiting list to get on it. I'm like, I don't even know why there's a wait list to get on that team.
Right.
Wow. That's good, though. That's good. You know, and I'm asking you these questions selfishly. That's, you know, because now you got my wheels spinning. It's like, oh, man, we could step this up a notch.
Yeah.
You know, because we have a great team. We just actually brought somebody in full time who's now our director of marketing and sales. He was actually my website guy, and we've worked together for, you know, several years. And finally, it just came on full time. And we're working with it's called Local IQ, which is a USA Today company. So they've really helped us, you know, touch on a lot of those things that you spoke about, you know, the digital marketing, the mail, direct mail, and just all kinds of different stuff like that. Now, I know it's not cheap, but the first thing they wanted to know was about us, like you were speaking about earlier. They wanted to know, can we handle it? Do we have enough people to answer the phone? You know, how many people work for you? How much revenue have you, you know, generated over the years? And like they asked us a bunch of questions. So, but what's cool about that is like you said, the market's not saturated. Okay. So like they're strategically picking the people that they work with. So I don't have to worry about a guy that's 50 miles away from me that's using the same tools that we're using to market ourselves.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say this. Like, I'm glad to hear that. Listen, because you guys heard me say I'm like a rising tide raises all ships, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just want everybody to kind of be on equal playing fields with me. It's just most don't get there, and I understand it's because it takes think about the labor cost to pay for 65 people because they're not overseas. They're my employees in the United States of America.
I get it.
That have to listen to phone calls that I pay hourly wages to.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money to cover that, but I'm listening to hundreds of thousands of hours a month of
Right.
calls. But again, it's because, you know, at the end of the day, the longer we finished, you guys are gonna love, we finished 2021 with a 6% turnover on customers. 6%.
That's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best tool in the world that lets me know how my team is doing in execution for our customers. 6%. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it also comes down to picking the right people and making a true partnership with it. And I don't just want to be a vendor. I'm a part of your business just like you're a part of my business. And so we're going to talk about facts. I'm going to hold you accountable when your booking rate sucks. You're going to hold me accountable if my lead volume sucks.
Yeah.
It's just that's what we do. That's what partners do.
Yep.
But
Right.
the most important thing for anybody that's listening who's using a digital marketing company or has a marketing manager or whatever it is you have to track everything, and you got to split out new business versus repeat business. When somebody says, I'm going to bring in new leads, that better be a legit new bookable repair or install lead that was not a past customer or referral. That is a lead. And that's where most miss the boat. They take the glory for like, oh, it's a $30 cost per lead, Chris. Bullshit. Was that a truly, because you're paying them to build your business.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get there? Whomever you choose, make certain they know your industry. That is so. I built this business perfecting how to bring in for an HVAC company, a servicer, an install lead, for a roofing company, a repair lead, a gutter lead, roof, not using inspection and using whatever else word I need to go to get around the word inspection. I got to get them there, or doing roof installation and learning the types of roof. You got to have somebody that knows the industry so they can think through how is the consumer searching for somebody like you when they have nobody in mind, and you solve that fucking problem, you change the game. And so I've been so hyper focused on that the last year and a half. That's the stuff I love.
Yeah.
Is look at the data, look at the numbers, track the patterns, look at the weather patterns, whether it's like 50 degrees, 60 degrees when it rains. Like, I'm just trying to track everything I possibly can. Hail Trace was beautiful to get in touch with.
Awesome.
To keep track of that type of stuff for my team. It also actually helped me in my HVAC side of the business too, because there's hailstorms. There's also a ton of unit damage for anybody that has external units. So it's been great for that too. So the more dialed in your marketing agency is, the better. And Ty, to your point, if you have somebody that's running lead on that in your company, that's like the best case scenario for somebody like me to have that kind of connection with and partner with, and for accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I love your passion, man.
yeah, me too.
I love your passion.
Thanks,
I
dude.
can tell that you know Gary. You do remind me a lot of Gary when you get like really passionate and speaking about things, like just the way that you deliver and you talk about your passion. It's awesome. It's good stuff.
You know what? That's thank you for saying that. I mean, it's like I said, it just too. If you look on my office wall, there's a big sign that says, "Don't be an asshole, be authentic."
Mm-hmm.
Then you ain't got to worry about anything. Like, you don't have to worry about faking it, like being someone you're not, whatever. How Gary and I met was, when he flew out here to have, he had a meeting. Thankfully, we knew some of the same people. Larry, I'm gonna name drop, but I promise I'm doing this. I'm doing it for the sake of the story. Larry Fitzgerald. So, first ballot Hall of Famer coming up.
Best hands in the football,
Cardinals.
bro.
Yeah.
So Gary was having a meeting with him, and I know Larry and Coach like Bruce Arians, and we did a lot of stuff with the Cardinals, a lot of charity stuff with the Cardinals. So I knew he was coming in town. So I messaged Gary, and I'm like, because I was chasing him down for like 6 months trying to get a hold of him. And I said, let's have dinner. And he gave me an hour and a half. I met up with him. Shit, we were at dinner for 3 hours because Larry was like an hour late. So it worked out great. But whenever he and I came in, we were literally wearing the exact same thing. A pair of gray pants, black shirt. Like, I wear a lot of black and orange and stuff like that. But we're just almost like, our mannerisms are like, we're so much alike that we just clicked like instantly. We clicked, and we were on one for like 3 hours. And by the end of it, I got a video I'll have to text over to you, Chris, of that night when I was like, dude, let's figure out some sort of partnership. I want to pull you into the trades. People in the trades need to know you more.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's fucking do it. He's like, give me your phone. I'm like, okay. He's like, play this for your employees on Monday. I'm like, all right. And so we recorded a video. I still have it saved in my favorites. I'll send it to you guys from that night.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
because
is
he's
cool.
super authentic. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely one of those guys that, listen, this is me. You're either gonna like it or you're not. I don't fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you see is what you get from him. Like, it's not an act. That is who he is.
Right. Yeah, and he's a very relatable person for the younger generation, for sure. People my age and younger, everyone knows who Gary Vee is on social media. On social media. Some of the older guys don't know who he is, or may not recognize his name. But as far as the authenticity, man, I can't really think of many other people that hop on videos and stuff on social media that are as authentic as that guy is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you take a look at actually, I'll take one thing I'll tell you is, because I have a lot of meetings with Gary, and I have a great relationship with him. Like, I can text Gary and ask him a question. I'm respectful of, I understand but I can do that, and I'm grateful for that. But I also would bring in my employees from time to time during our personal meetings, so that way they could kind of be a part of it, while I have the opportunity. And so if you notice on my, I can't remember if it was our LinkedIn post or a Facebook post or something on Ryno, it was one of those where I brought him in and I was saying, hey man, like, I'm considering starting my own Ryno University and just incubating my own employees anymore. Like I'm going to create my own, so I don't get somebody who's got a lot of bad habits. I'll take somebody who's green, who doesn't know anything. I'm going to start building my own employees. So I brought him in, had a meeting about it. And then what's cool about that is I do have a video production team in-house. I do have a social media team in-house. Like I have all those things. So they've chopped it all up and started sharing it. So every once in a while you'll see like videos posted from some of our meetings here and there, which is a pretty cool, like,
Yeah.
I like seeing them and like reminders, but it was cool to like to bring my team in and let them be a part of it.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, man.
It is
That's
good
really cool.
stuff.
Yeah. So what's next for you, man? Like what's your next big thing? I mean, are you just gonna keep sticking to what you're doing? Or are you have anything in the works that you're willing to spill? Or you going to RoofCon next year?
Yeah, so I'll actually be I'll be at RoofCon again next year. Yep, same thing. I'll for sure we'll probably have Camp Ryno back. I loved Camp Ryno. That was the first time we ever rolled it out. It was kind of our like beta test for that particular setup, but it's different. I mean, it's kind of neat. I'll also be at IRE.
Gotcha.
So that's actually I went last year and watched people speak and met some people there. And the thing that I thought like that was missing, really, Chris and Ty, is that I didn't feel like anybody in my space like owned, like really went all in on the roofing and like restoration type industry. Really more so roofing than anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I am set up to do that.
Yeah.
Adding another vertical for me is easy because all the processes are in place, all the measurables, but I got the staff in place. It was just I took a year and a half to figure it out before I went all in on it. So by the time I got to RoofCon, I had already been working on it for a little over a year.
Awesome.
on the craft. And so it's a scalable model for me. So I'm going all in on roofing. Like the next 2 years, you're going to see my Ryno logos more than you want to see them all over the place. Because I got to build brand equity, it's branding. So
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be doing a keynote presentation at Win the Storm. So here's how I looked at this thing is I don't know much about a lot of the different, like the Win the Storms and the IREs and the roofing insights and whatever. And honestly, I don't necessarily care. Like my values are my values and what my message is my message. And if I've been given this platform to serve and I've got attention, it's my responsibility on behalf of my team and the potential to grow other roofing contractors to put it out there. Like the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, man. Like you got to put it to work. You got to work.
Yeah.
You got to use it. So I take that and I'll be all over the roofing industry this year. And I'm focusing on it. Like me personally, I'm in it.
Yeah.
So the rest of my business, that doesn't mean I ignore it. I mean, I'm CEO of the company. It's just I have a great leadership in place. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't need to focus on that. This is my baby.
Mm-hmm. No,
So y'all are gonna see a
that's
lot of me.
exciting.
That's awesome,
exciting.
man.
I can't wait
love
to
it.
see.
I love the energy that you're going to
Yeah,
bring to
me
the
too.
industry.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So IRE, are you setting up shop down at IRE, or are you just gonna go and kind of mingle?
Nah, man. Like I did the whole deal. Like I dropped some coin this year, fellas, to try and
Right
get
on.
these things and make an impact. It's just typical marketing type stuff. Not a big deal. The best way to start to build brand is gain as much attention as you can. You listen to Gary Vee. It's all about attention. And but at International Roofing Expo, we're doing a breakout session. We have like a little pre-event party that we had them build for us a sponsorship package that includes that because I don't like to do anything cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And then we'll have normal booths and stuff there. But I'm not speaking at RoofCon. We are doing a breakout, but I can't remember if you guys met Jeff at RoofCon or not. But he's kind of helping lead the charge on. He'll be doing a breakout, but I'm going to be sitting in there, so the odds I'm going to stay quiet is probably pretty slim. So I'll probably step in and do it, but it's a little breakout that we're doing there. Win the Storm, I am doing a keynote, and we have a breakout, and we got a big ass booth there. Camp Ryno will be there, and then same thing at RoofCon. I'll also be doing another keynote at RoofCon, which I'm super blessed that they asked me to do it again. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good. I'll be at IRE.
And
yeah,
then you better come hit me up,
I
man.
will for sure. That's why I was asking if you were just going to be, running around mingling with people, networking, or if you actually had a booth set up. So cool.
Yeah, man,
can't wait to see
I
it.
like to create like meaningful relationships too. So I want to do all of those things, and
Yeah.
really this is my year to do that. RoofCon was just like the teaser for it, and I was
I
like,
get it.
yeah, man, good man. There's such good people in this industry.
There really is, man.
Yeah, and Win
there
the
really
Storm.
is.
I was at Win the Storm, what, 2 years or
Last year. That was last year.
That was a good one. I got a lot out of that. Jana and I went down there. It was great. And then Chris and a bunch of us went down to RoofCon. And then last year I was also at IRE. But I like those little breakout sessions that they have. I actually bought all of the recordings for that and thought that I was going to come back and share it with my team, but I didn't because I'm selfish like that. No, I actually forgot. I actually forgot now that I just said I spent this $147 on hours of people speaking and stuff like that. But no, it's fun. It's great. And we sponsored Win the Storm, had our ads running and stuff like that. That year it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I videoed that, so it was good stuff, man. But I can't wait to see our boys from Roof Scope will be at IRE. That's kind of why I'm going. We're kind of partners with them. Lead Scott will be there. They're not actually setting up. They're going there to more network with the manufacturers and stuff like that. But GAF will be there. We're Master Elite, so I like to go and hang out with those guys. But
You
it'll be a
have to
good
make that
time.
connection.
What's that? Good connection.
You're going to make that connection. So I have I talked to I understand the importance of having a great partner there. And so having done the same thing in the HVAC and plumbing space, I had a couple conversations with some of them, but not GAF. And so if there's a connection there, I'd certainly love to
Absolutely.
do that. Because if you think of the way I look at it is, if my job is to grow you and scale you, you're going to have to keep buying more supplies. Guess what they want you to do? Buy more supplies.
Yeah.
So, and it becomes like a win-win situation. So it's something I have to pursue, and that's all part of the deal, right? Like they don't know me, and I have to start to meet people, and they have to start to say, is he all talk? Is he like delivering? And that's why you bring on pilot roofing contractors and say, here's what we did with them, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Like they can't all be an accident.
Yeah.
So it's then you can have more meaningful conversation about really scaling, because it's all about market share and brand awareness for like GF and those guys and growing it. So
Yeah.
they
I
can
don't
only do
really
it.
think-
They can only do it through you guys moving, growing too.
Yeah.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
think that anyone does it
Yeah,
better
our
either.
mindset's the same exact way. We're trying to own the market in this area. I mean, we brand the shit. We just actually rebranded, which is actually I don't have it on, but Chris does.
Yeah, new
We
logos and
just
everything.
needed a little something more modern, but we've doubled down on billboards and digital marketing and direct mail and just all kinds of things. And if they don't know who we are, we're definitely not doing enough. And that's
Nice
been my
job.
mentality.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, you guys are the minority. You realize that, like, even it's most people won't stick their neck out and do that and then do it consistently, because it's really hard to see down the road and just like cross your fingers, especially if like cash flow issues. So I commend you guys for doing it, but you'll reap the benefits from that. Like branding is so incredibly important.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And I love earlier how you said, you don't mind giving away the trade secrets and stuff, because honestly, if someone's going to step up to the plate with you, I'm sure you agree with me, no one's going to outwork you. So, you can have all the trade secrets. 9 times out of 10, the people aren't going to do what you're telling them anyways. And even if they do, now it becomes a competition on who's going to work harder.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like,
Like I said, I'm 42 years old, so I'm like, I'm young as the way I said. Like I still got a runway ahead of me, and I don't have any quit, man. Like even if I don't know when that quit comes, I got none of it, and I wasn't raised that way. And if you kind of look at the patterns of my life, you grew up on a farm, you learn work ethic as a kid, whether you want to or not. Like you bitch and complain about it, but you got no choice. Get your ass out in the field and do some detasseling. And pulling the tops up the corn tassels so the stalks can grow. So like all the shit that you got to do. So I tried to play every sport I could possibly think of just to not have to be home.
yeah.
And wrestling was such a disciplined sport that I controlled my own outcome. Like even though I was on a team, it was about me. It's me and the other
Yep.
guy on the mat. Sometimes the girl, because I was a little guy. But I would definitely whoop their ass. No offense, ladies, but it was just I have these same. Think about it, I get in a race car. Yes, I have a team of people, but it's me in that car. So you see, there's a pattern where I'm relying on a team, but there's a lot of it that's me because I can control my own output and work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you say outwork you, of course, and I welcome those challenges. It's just that I'm not afraid of it, and it doesn't
Right.
make me mad if somebody's trying to like compete against me. It's like May the best see you on the battlefield. Like as well,
Yep.
that's kind of how I look at it. See you on the battlefield.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's
You
something
put
you
your
learn
team
in
against my
wrestling, man.
team.
I did wrestling in actually elementary, middle school, and high school. I wrestled for 10 years. And a story that I like to tell people, man, it's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, it's not as humbling. I actually lost a match to a blind person, right? You go
Really?
into that match, yeah, dude. And I don't know
You
if
have to hold them.
Yes, you can't break contact. So if there's
Right.
ever a point where you guys break contact, ref stops you to reset. You want to talk
Yep.
about strength? Like, that mofo was strong, bro. like,
Hey,
like he
I
got a
wrestled.
hold of me and like, bam, on the mat immediately. Like, just
I'm gonna
Sure.
tell you a story, and I hope that you guys or your listeners don't judge me, but I have to tell it. I wrestled a guy with one leg. His name's Andy. I won't say his last name, but I remember it vividly.
Mhm.
Wrestling with one leg. Now this fucking guy was jacked. He got one leg. I'm
Right.
wrestling at 100 pounds. Okay, so for 100 pounds, I'm a little dude. His upper body was jacked because he was like a quarter of the weight down. He
yeah,
didn't have
that's
no
like
leg.
25 pounds right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's gonna try and like headlock me or something. Like I don't know what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to get me on the ground, like, but that's not gonna happen. So I'm really good on my feet. I'm really good in the up position. So I ankle picked him. You know what an ankle pick is?
Oh yeah, that's dirty.
I grabbed this one leg and I ankle picked him because I was like, dude, I don't want this guy to get me on the ground. So I ankle picked him and stuck him in like about 18 seconds. But
Yeah.
I was like, my coach was so pissed because he's like, everything's about respect and like,
Mhm.
and he was like, that was so disrespectful, Chris. Like, I'm so disappointed in you. And I'm thinking, I didn't want to tell him, like, dude, I thought he was gonna if he got me on the ground, this dude's huge. He's
Yeah, he
gonna
was
beat
gonna
me.
kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so bad. To the point where I still remember it to today. I'm telling you the story. I'm 42
yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have
Yes.
looked that kid up
You should.
Right. Apologize.
You should
and,
scroll
Make
and
down.
amends.
apologize to him.
Yeah. Right. You
Yeah.
just scroll and dial.
Right. And like opposite side of the fence, I went into my situation like almost overlooking. You know what I mean? It's like there's no way I'm gonna lose this. Like the guy can't even see. You know what I mean? And then it's like he gets that grip on you, bro. Like you're done. You're done for.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it literally just by my arms dragged me to the mat. Done. Immediately. I couldn't even move. So
Suck.
it goes along with that. I'll give you the secrets. You're not gonna outwork me. And I just
Yeah.
I underestimated and didn't outwork. So
Right on.
Happens, dude. That's actually
It's humbling.
super valuable. It's a valuable lesson.
it's humbling.
I've done it plenty.
So we're about over here. I think we're an hour and 2 minutes. So Chris, it's been a great episode,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I really appreciate you hopping on here, taking the time that you took out of your day down at RoofCon to talk to me, agreeing to come on the episode. I wish you the best in all your affairs and everything. If there's anything that we can do up here, if you're ever in the area, we got the dates written down that you're going to be up here in Philly. So
Yep.
if you want to do any kind of link and go out for dinner or something like that, we're 100% game, man. And
Absolutely.
I'm sure that we can.
For sure.
This is GAF country up here, so
Right.
you want to talk to some people, man. We could probably help you with
Yeah.
that.
Myerstown, Pennsylvania is the
Yep.
manufacturer.
So that's all you needed to say.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, congratulations on 107 episodes. I understand the work that goes into that. That's a lot, and all that you guys are doing for this industry. It's probably even so much more than you even know.
Mhm.
And so I commend you for it. It's hard work, but I appreciate you guys, thinking enough to have me on. I'm grateful.
Right
Yeah,
on.
excellent, man.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thank
Hopefully
you
see
very
you
much.
at
It's been a
RoofCon.
pleasure. And,
And,
if we don't talk until IRE, I will definitely look you up when we get down there. So,
Please do. Yeah,
yep,
please do.
for sure.
Awesome.
Yep.
TC Backer family, thank you guys for tuning in again, staying consistent.
Mhm.
Sorry we did not do any shout outs today. We're trying to give Chris our utmost attention
Yeah,
here.
star of the show.
We do see you guys. We do appreciate you. We will be replying to some comments here that we've seen in here. If anyone needs to reach out to Chris, his website Ryno RYNOSS.com. All of his social media links are on there. If you have any kind of questions or anything, there's a form that you can submit. If there's anything that you think that he may be able to help you with, go ahead and check him out. We appreciate you guys and look forward to see you guys next week. All
Yeah.
my PA people, get ready for some snow at the end of the week here.
That's right.
And we'll see you guys for episode 108 next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We will have Elizabeth from Business 411 and Only Roofers on the show, so that's going to be another banger for you guys.
Yeah, it will.
All you women in the trades and in construction. She's going to be able to. She's an inspiration to not only men but women in the industry. She's
Absolutely.
she's a trailblazer. You know what I mean? So some of the people that we've had on here that we made connections with at RoofCon, we consider all those people trailblazers. What they're adding to the industry and what they're doing for the industry. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate you guys. Chris, enjoy your 80-degree weather down there in Arizona, and we'll see you.
Yep.